Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Crime Rewind. My name is Jen Marie, and this video is going to be about Faye Dollar. This video, we're actually going to be going on location to 3 different locations. So that's more than my other videos that I've done. The first location is the location of Feldwood High School, and this is the school where Faye spent 7 years teaching math, 7 years leading up to her disappearance. The second location that I will be going to is her residence where she lived in College Park / Atlanta. She lived there with her 2 boys after her divorce from her husband, Donald Dollar. And then the third location is actually going to be the location where her body was discovered in the trunk of her car in the parking lot of the Admiral Benbow Inn. And the building is now a dormitory. It's a dorm house for the Savannah College of Art and Design. Hey guys, we are here at the first location that we are going to be going to in this video. The first location is, right now, it's Benjamin Banneker High School. This high school actually used to be Feldwood High School, and that is where Faye Dollar taught mathematics. Here, I'm not sure which grade, or if it was all grades. I'm not sure about that. But she did teach here for 7 years, up till the time that she had went missing. And actually, this is a brand new building, fairly new. It's I think it was completed in 2010. I could be mistaken. This is a brand new building. When they consolidated high schools, they decided to build a whole new building, and it's way bigger than what it used to be. But this is a brand new building. Now, if we swing around here, you can't really see over here too well. But this is actually all this over here. I know you can't see, but that over there are tennis courts. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 tennis courts. Really nice tennis courts. Then there's like practice football fields. There's this brand new stadium. There's a track. There's a baseball diamonds back in there. It's really big. There's a lot of stuff back in there. I don't want to just go walking around back in there. I think I'm pressing my luck right now as it is being here, so I don't want to get yelled at. But at that location, where I just panned out to, the tennis courts and the football fields and the baseball diamonds, that actually was where, whoops, my bad. That actually, over in there, was where Feldwood, the actual building of Feldwood High School used to be. So they tore it down. The actual building's no longer here. They tore it down to make room for all this fantastic new sports fields. So I mean, it's really nice over here. It's a nice school. Like, I don't know how it was back in 1980. I don't know. I couldn't really find any good pictures of Feldwood High School, but this is just the front of Benjamin Banneker High School, and it's really nice. It's really nice. And this is in on Feldwood. It's actually off of Feldwood Road in College Park, Georgia. So, but this is where Faye taught math, And apparently she was very, very much loved by all her students and faculty and whatnot. So, all right, we're gonna go on to the next location. Bye. Okay guys, here we are at the second location, and this is actually Faye Dollar's residence. Well, was her residence. I'm not sure who lives here now. But this is a really nice, actually really cute neighborhood. Pretty well kept. All the street names are named after British royalty. It's weird. Dating back to the 1400s. I mean, I don't even know. I suck at history, my bad. But this is her house. It's a really cute house. I mean, I like the driveway. I don't know who lives here now, if anybody. But this is where Faye Dollar lived with her two sons after she got a divorce from her husband, Donald Dollar, and this is where she lived. This is in College Park. So, and it's on King Henry Road, Southwest in College Park. Hey guys, this is the third and final location that we're going to for this video, and this is actually the location of the Admiral Benbow Inn back in 1980, where Faye Dollar was discovered in the trunk of her car in the parking lot of the Admiral Benbow Inn. And Atlanta traffic. It's awesome. Ugh. And I'm sorry, I forgot my tripod at home, so if it's shaky, I know it's shaky, so I apologize. I forgot my tripod. But come to find out that the Admiral Benbow Inn, the building, it was made into spring house dormitories. They're dormitories for the Savannah College of Art and Design. The acronym is SCAD. And they did make it into spring house, but then not too long ago, and see, as you can tell by the gate and the construction, I think they're still working on it. I thought it was finished, but they tore the Admiral Benbow Inn down. It did used to be the spring house, but they decided to make this building right here into the new, I don't know how many stories, 10 maybe, story dormitories, into the new spring house, and it's pretty snazzy. But I don't know if it's open yet. I have no idea. This is where GPS told me to go in Atlanta traffic, so I don't really want to drive around and look right now. But as you can see, all this construction leads me to believe that they're not quite finished with it yet. I don't know where all the students are. They must be staying in there somehow, because I don't know where else they would stay. Because obviously the old building used to be right there. I mean, you can see the sidewalks and used to be right there. So maybe they're just need to clean up or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, I thought the Admiral Benbow Inn was still standing, but apparently it's not. They did tear it down. So, on the early evening of December 4th, 1980, Faye Dollar's gold 1972 Monte Carlo was located in the parking lot of the Admiral Benbow Inn. A locksmith was called after the police discovered this car. A locksmith was called because the car was locked, and called to the scene to open the locked car. When the trunk was opened, Faye was actually inside the trunk, deceased, obviously. She was completely nude, lying face down over the spare tire, which had left a deep imprint in her skin. Morbid, I know. Sorry, guys. After an autopsy was performed, the cause of death was actually determined to be blunt force trauma to the skull. And she had been hit behind her left ear with a blunt instrument. The murder weapon has never been found, but the medical examiner, I think they know maybe what caused the injury. They've never said what that item is. They've never said what it is, and they've never apparently found it either. The ME also believes that she had been dead for several days before she had been discovered. Earlier that same day that she was discovered on December 4th, several items belonging to Faye had been found scattered around the parking lot of the Admiral Benbow Inn. I don't think when these items were discovered, maybe they didn't realize who the items belonged to yet, just because that her body and the car hadn't been discovered, hadn't been noticed yet. I think they put two and two together later on and realized that the items scattered around the parking lot actually belonged to Faye. The weird thing, though, about this car being in the parking lot of this inn was that the hotel manager did not notice the car there previously. The guest didn't recall seeing the car there. The hotel security guard didn't said that the car hadn't been there until like earlier that same day. No one, they said that that car was not there. So apparently the car was put there on the day that it was discovered, which is extremely odd. Neither had Faye hadn't been registered at the hotel as a guest either. So no one knows still why this particular place is, why it's important, or why the car with her body in the trunk was left at that place. No one's ever found that out, and if they have, they haven't said. So I'm going to go over history of the inn. Is pretty interesting. In the years after 1980, the inn changed hands many times, becoming other businesses. Became the Midtown Inn, then the Fairfield Inn, and now in 2020, the building houses students attending the Savannah College of Art and Design, and the acronym for that is SCAD. It's called the Spring House. And actually, when I went to go film at the location, I found out that the actual building where the Admiral Benbow Inn was torn down, and they built a new dormitory, a very nice tall one. That's nice. But the Admiral Benbow Inn, the building, is actually gone now. They tore that down, so that's no longer there. The first Admiral Benbow Inn was opened in Memphis in 1961 by founder Alan Gary. He tried to turn it into a franchise and became somewhat successful at this because he partnered with Holiday Inn, the Holiday Inn franchise, and it gave his business, his hotel chain, a little bit of a boost. But at the end of the chains of the Admiral Benbow chain, end of its heyday, there had been less than a dozen hotels actually built. So by the late 1970s, early 1980s, all the properties had been sold off to various companies who then turned the inn into different businesses. And I want to apologize, there's a hurricane going on right now, so if you hear rain, then yeah. And there's a tornado watch also, and flood warning. So yay, fun times in Georgia. Okay. 3 days prior to her body being discovered, she had been reported missing by her ex-husband. The last time she had been seen was the evening of Saturday, November 29th, by her two sons. She had tucked her boys into bed around 9 p.m. inside her brick ranch-style home that she owned on King Henry Road in College Park, Georgia. They had fallen asleep that night and awoke the next morning to discover that their mother was not in the house, and her car wasn't in its normal spot in the driveway. So her sons Chadwick, 9, and Cameron, 4, they called their father to tell him, Donald Dollar, their father Donald Dollar, to tell him they didn't know what to do because their mom wasn't home, and they were scared and confused and they didn't know what was going on. So they called him. And the next day was a Monday, December 1st. Faye also failed to show up for work at the school where she taught, where she was a teacher. The 13 years that she had been teaching, she had never just not shown up to work without calling somebody and to let somebody know that she wouldn't be coming in. But this was she had never done that before. So obviously there was something, everybody knew immediately that there was something really wrong. And so her ex-husband actually decided to report Faye missing on December 1st. BOLO was issued, which is be on the lookout, was issued for Faye's Monte Carlo. Unfortunately, Donald gave the police the wrong tag number for her car. So for a few days they were operating on misinformation. And by the time the mistake was finally realized and corrected, it was the 4th, and that's when they found her car actually was on the 4th, the same day that the information, had the correct information. I don't know if that was done on purpose or if it really was an accident. I know that I probably couldn't tell you the license plate number of my car, so I can see how that would be an easy mistake to make, I guess. I don't know, but no one really questioned it, I guess. I don't know. I think it's weird. But the boys had told the authorities that when their mother tucked them in that night, she was wearing a red dress. However, when she was found, she was, like I said, completely nude. She did not have this dress on, nor was the dress found anywhere on the scene. It wasn't in her car. It's never been found. Some reports say that her hair was still in curlers or rollers, and other reports I've read don't mention that at all. So I don't know if that is true detail or not, but just thought I'd mention it. Okay, Faye and Donald had just recently been divorced in September of 1980. The police claim that the divorce had been a bitter and volatile one. Faye retained custody of their 2 sons. There were reports that Donald was abusive to her, and the police had been called to their home many times over the years. Don't know what about, probably domestic violence, fighting, who knows. She says that he was abusive and violent, so I don't know. Another interesting fact, the night of the 29th, her boyfriend had called her home around 9 p.m. to tell her that he was not going to be able to come over that night. Now, I haven't been able to find anything about the name of this boyfriend. I don't know. He's never been mentioned, his name or anything else, as far as if the police know who he is. I mean, they might not even know who he is, because you know, if Faye's if she hadn't told anybody about this man, and she's dead, so it's not like she can give the police that information. So I don't even know if they know what his name is. I haven't seen anything saying what his name is, or I don't know. There's no information on him. So both Faye and Donald were high school teachers, but at different schools. Like I said, Faye taught math at Feldwood High School in College Park. A little bit of information on the high school where she taught. In 1988, Feldwood High School and M.D. Collins High School merged and became Benjamin Banneker High School. Then in 2012, the school site underwent a major overhaul. A brand new building was constructed, and the old building that once housed Feldwood High School was demolished, actually. And in its spot, multi-purpose practice fields and tennis courts were placed. And it's a very nice, very big campus. Interesting fact, famous alumni of Banneker High School are Ludacris, who is a rapper and an actor, and also a Grammy Award winner, I think, and Young Jock. Okay, we're going to talk about Donald's career in basketball. Now, anybody who knows anything about sports, about college ball, probably has heard his name, because apparently he's very famous in the sports world. He's been a coach in Georgia for over 35 years. His teams have won over 660 games, which puts him at the top of the list of the best high school basketball coaches of all time. He has earned 3 state championships, 16 regional titles, 11 appearances in the state semifinals, and 8 chances at the state title. Over 35 players who played for Dollar have gone on to play in Division I or II, and 4 players reached the ranks of professional basketball. So that's a lot of success. He was a College Park native and played football and baseball at Morehouse College in Atlanta, not basketball, football and baseball, weird, where he graduated in 1962 with his bachelor's degree. He began coaching basketball at J.P. Carr High School. He was there for 2 seasons before he moved on to Ava Thomas High School, where he led the team to win 2 state championships. And he was there from 1964 to 1971. But the majority of Dollar's success happened during his time at Frederick Douglass High School, coaching the boys' varsity basketball team through 22 seasons. And this was where he was at actually when Faye was murdered, he was the coach at Douglas High School. He successfully led that team to 14 state tournaments, 11 regional titles, 7 appearances in the state semifinals, 5 state title games, and they won the 1984 Georgia State Championship. But in 1991, he was fired from Douglas High School for what was described in a dismissal letter as a poor principal-coach relationship. After that, after he was let go, it took Dollar 3 years to get another coaching job because after having been passed over for positions at Clark Atlanta University and Fort Valley, statements have been made to the effect saying that Dollar was too controversial. You can see why. He admits that he's not the type to smile or be outwardly friendly. And I quote, "Those who know me well know I am cordial and I don't mistreat people." So that was his quote on that. When it comes to coaching, however, he says his style is definitely different. And this is also a quote, "I'm a no-nonsense person in terms of getting it done and making sure it's done right." End quote. And I can identify with that because I say that actually a lot to my kids. If you're going to do it right the first time. So I can identify with that. He did coach. After that, he found some jobs. He coached for short stints at Carver High School and Clarkston High School before actually going back to his alma mater, Morehouse, to be an assistant coach. So I guess this is when he made his transition into college basketball. He was only there for a short time. He then went to the University of West Georgia as assistant coach for 2 seasons. In 2009, he got hired on as an assistant coach at Seattle University by his son Cameron Dollar, who was the head coach. So his son hired him to help coach the Red Hawks. He left there in 2014. Donald was the founder, and he's done a lot. Donald was the founder and director of the Metro Atlanta Summer Basketball League and the Peach State Holiday Basketball Classic. I think probably in all likelihood now he's probably retired. I think I wasn't able to find anything on him. He's not deceased, I don't think, but he's probably just retired. I'm not sure where, if he is back in Atlanta or what. I'm not sure where he is. Oh, another interesting fact about Donald Dollar is he had a brother who was in the College Park Police Department. Now, Faye was found, her body was found in downtown Atlanta. This is downtown Atlanta where she was found, which is Fulton County. Downtown Atlanta is Fulton County. College Park is either Fulton County or Clayton County. So the police that would have had taken her case, I guess, would have taken over the investigation, would have either been Fulton County Police Department or APD, Atlanta Police Department. So I don't think his brother being on the College Park Police Department really interfered. I don't think. I mean, I'm pretty sure it wasn't the College Park Police Department that took over the investigation. So I just wanted to point that out, that he did have a brother in law enforcement. Okay, Donald Dollar did an interview with the Atlanta Constitution in 1981, and it's a pretty big article that they do on him, and mostly it's about his basketball, his coaching, and how great his team is doing. But he does say a few interesting things. Dollar admits he wasn't doing much good for his team, though. He would space out during practices because it was really hard to concentrate, and he says his patience with the kids was really short. I assume he means his sons when he says the kids. Donald says since his wife's dead body was discovered in December of 1980, his life has been in turmoil. And I quote, "During the time Faye and I were having trouble, she convinced some of her friends that I was bad to her, that I was a bully. So naturally, when the tragedy happened, her friends and family assumed I did it. I've been through it all with polygraph, tests, and everything. They came down pretty hard on me. I guess you could say I found out that even though you're innocent, you still have to defend yourself, and it's been pretty expensive too." End quote. So, it's pretty selfish, in my opinion. But he says he also had threatening phone calls, accusing looks from people who were once friends of theirs, and a loss of privacy. Duh. Okay. Dollar claims that his and his son's lives were being threatened, which made him fearful, and he never wanted to let his kids out of his sight. And this quote that I'm about to read, this is the quote that solidified it for me, honestly, my opinion of who did it. He is quoted as saying, "I'm still concerned, but things seem to be working out. The threatening calls have stopped, and the police haven't talked to me since before Christmas. They haven't found anybody yet. I guess this is one of those cases they call unsolved. But I hope things are about over for me. I just don't know what to expect. It's been the worst experience I can imagine." End quote. So, yeah, poor thing. Seems like he's really just concerned about himself. It's me. Every article that I've ever read where he's quoted as saying anything, he's never expressed any sadness or any just emotion or feeling about the fact that I know they were divorced and they may have disliked each other and had really rough times. You know, I've been through the same thing. It doesn't mean if my ex-partner wasn't murdered, like, I would be upset, you know, especially the father of my children. And so the fact that he's not upset at all about the mother of his own sons doesn't upset him. And he's only worried about himself. And, you know, I guess it's just one of those cases that are unsolved, you know, is his attitude. Chadwick and Cameron Dollar, the sons of Donald and Faye Dollar, they actually also have very lucrative careers in basketball themselves. And they are both coaches now. And as far as I know, they're both coaches, still coaches. Cameron Dollar, who was the youngest one, he was 4 at the time his mother was murdered. Cameron actually played basketball for his father while attending Douglas High School during his freshman and sophomore years. He then went to St. John's Literary Institution for his junior and senior years, which is a prep school in Maryland. He was recruited right out of high school to play for UCLA. So he was a member of the Bruins, UCLA Bruins, when they captured the national title in 1995, and he was a big part of that. Apparently, he replaced a very popular player that was injured. I think in the first 3 minutes of the game, he was put in this dude's spot, and he won the game basically for the Bruins in 1995. So he spent that time with UCLA to learn everything he could about coaching. And when he graduated, he chose to become a coach instead of continuing further into pro ball. So right out of college, Cameron got hired by Pat Douglas to be an assistant coach at UC Irvine in 1997. He spent 1 season there before being named head coach at Southern California College in Costa Mesa in 1998. And at the age of 22, he was the nation's youngest collegiate head basketball coach. I think that still holds to this day. He has been the youngest. He was the youngest at 22 ever. But he was only there for 1 season before going to UGA for a short while, and then he went on to St. Louis University. In 2002, he went to Washington and was assistant coach until 2009, when he was hired on as head coach for the Seattle University Redhawks, and was there until 2017 when he was fired. After that, he is now back with the Washington Huskies. So he was with Washington, went to Seattle for a while, I think 7 years, 7 or 8 seasons. And then he went back to the Washington Huskies. So I think that's where he still currently is with the Huskies. And then the oldest son, Chadwick, he was 9 when his mother was murdered. So after playing basketball in high school, Chad went to South Florida University from 1990 to 93, where he lettered in basketball all 3 years that he went there. He finished up his college career, however, at Milligan College in Tennessee, where he earned a bachelor's degree in sociology in 1996. Then he began his coaching career at Gardner-Webb College, serving as a volunteer assistant for 1 season and a graduate assistant for another season. After that, he went to Southern Miss, Mississippi, for the 1996-97 season to coach the Golden Eagles. He also spent 2 summers coaching with this league called Athletes in Action, AIA, assisting with selection of players and conducting the team's training camps. So in 1997, Chad traveled to Macedonia and Croatia with the organization, and also in 2001 he went to the Ivory Coast, which is what they call a part of the African coast. So, and then here's I'm going to go down a list of the years and the colleges that he coached at, because it's pretty extensive. Okay, 1998 to 2000 he was at Western Carolina, and this is in addition to everything I just told you. Like, this is colleges in addition. Okay, so 1998-2000 he was at Western Carolina. 2000-2002 Eastern Kentucky. 2002-2006 Georgia Southern. 2006-2007 Murray State. 2007-2008 LSU. 2008-2010 Arkansas State. 2010-2011 Wichita State. 2011-2016 Georgia Tech. 2016-2017 Auburn. 2017-2018 South Florida, which is also where he went to college for the first 3 years. And then 2018 to the present, he actually coaches the UGA Bulldogs. So he is definitely made the rounds. I mean, the whole family has. I mean, Donald coached all kinds of different places. Cameron was all kinds of different places. All 3 of them have been made the rounds in colleges and in their coaching careers. I don't know. I'm not sure why. But a lot of the colleges they coached at have been for only 1 season, which I don't know if that's normal. If someone wants to comment and tell me whether that's a normal thing for coaching, I don't even know. I don't know anything about that. So to me, it just seems like a lot of moving. I mean, I thought coaches stayed with teams for a while. Like, once you found your niche and your groove, like, you stayed with the team, right? I mean, that's what I thought. But all 3 of them have moved around a lot. Like, I mean, for heaven's sake, you know, Georgia Tech and UGA, they're rivals. But Chadwick has coached both of them, both teams, Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets and UGA Bulldogs. So, you know, I don't know how I feel about that, or how the teams feel, how the colleges feel about that. But they obviously don't care. Now, I wasn't able to find much information on Faye Dollar, on her youth, or on anything about her, what she liked to do, or any history about her. I haven't been able to find much. What I have been able to find was the fact that she was born March 8th, 1942. She was 38, so that makes her 38 years old when she was killed. She grew up in Madison, Georgia, and was a member of the Bridgettes, which is the local chapter of the Red Hat Society, the Red Hat ladies. I don't know if you all know what Red Hat Society is, but I don't know if anybody knows what they are. But I remember when I was a server in a restaurant, and I used to always get, especially for lunch, the Red Hat ladies coming in, and they literally wear crazy red hats, like tall red hats, just crazy, whatever the craziest thing that they could find that was red. Believe me, trust me, they wore it in. So, and I'm not even sure what they do. I don't even know what they do or what they're for. I'm not sure. I think I did find something saying that they had, back in the day, back in the 80s, the Bridgettes had put on a fashion show at the convention center in Atlanta. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't. They're very kind of secretive. I mean, I tried to go to their website, and the website kept crashing. So I don't know. I wasn't really able to find out and much of what. Maybe I should join and become a part of their cult. It's apparently a dedicated member of the Bridgettes, and each chapter has a different cutesy name. So her chapter happened to be the Bridgettes. She is buried at the Madison Historic Cemetery in Morgan County, Georgia. So that was pretty much all the information I could find. Honestly, there's not hardly anything out there. And I want to say that To me, after researching this case, there is so much that has not been said. Literally no one's written about in the newspapers or discussed this case since almost since it happened. There has been nothing. No one's been, because you know how there's cold cases. I mean, in this case is 40 years old. So you know how certain cold cases, they'll after a certain amount of time has passed, someone will revive the case and they'll put it back in the public eye and try to bring attention to it so it can be solved. There's been nothing. Nobody's done that. There's been nothing. Our latest articles that I could find about this case were from the 1980s. I mean, there's been nothing like that has looked into this case. And I suppose when I know she has a family that loved her and cared about her, you know, but when, you know, the ex-spouse isn't concerned about it being solved, you know, and doesn't bother calling the police or getting an update on the progress. I mean, you know, because most cases that you do see in the media, there's family there that's prodding the police, like constantly calling them. Do you have updates? You know, like just not, they won't leave it alone, and they prompt more things to happen and more people to pay attention. They keep it in the news. They keep it people focused on getting this solved. And nobody has done that in this case. They're not her family. Definitely not Donald Dollar, because he doesn't give a shit. And so no one's been doing that. No one's done that for Faye Dollar. So literally, and there's been nothing. Like I said, like there's so many things that I thought of about this case that I don't know if the police have investigated it. Like the name of her supposed boyfriend, what happened with him? Like why did she leave that? Like why did she leave the house that night? Did she leave to go to run to the grocery store or the convenience store, and then she got abducted from there? I mean, she was found in the trunk of her own car. So, I mean, did she go meet somebody? Did she go meet this boyfriend? Did she? I mean, there's so many questions, and nothing's answered. You know, apparently Donald Dollar's never been a suspect. I don't know why. I mean, he doesn't. Apparently, nothing's been said about any alibi that he has had, that he maybe has for that time. Because I'm sorry, but I think he's a likely suspect. I do. I could be wrong, but that quote that he said, that really rubbed me the wrong way. It really did, because I didn't like the way that sounded at all. And to me, that's not the way someone talks about the murder of your ex-spouse. I mean, and the mother of your children. That's not, I mean, it's just everything that he said, it's all about him. And I mean, just no concern, no, I mean, he had to have loved her at one point, you know? I mean, they were together for 13, 14 years, I don't know. But, you know, from all reports, he was very abusive and very, even abusive to his players, apparently, too, was what I read, was that he is abusive to his players. His sons have never said anything like that, so, I don't know. Maybe he killed her. Don't know. But I wish there was something. I wish people, or the police, could find something. I mean, was there any evidence from this case? Was there evidence from her car? Was there fingerprints? Was there DNA? I mean, she was naked. She was naked, completely nude, no clothing. No one's ever come out and said, like the police never come out and said, when they talk about the medical examiner finding the cause of death, did they do a rape kit? Did they see if she had been sexually assaulted? They never say. So, I mean, if she had been sexually assaulted and there was DNA collected, have they tested that? If not, why not? Why haven't they tested that? There's nothing ever said, like saying if there's any evidence in this case at all, and nothing's ever said. I mean, there's nothing that I can find about this case and about anything. I mean, you know, the other cases I've done, there's always usually a suspect, you know, in mind. But with this one, nothing. There's nothing. I mean, I have a suspect in mind. But you know, maybe that's just his personality, and maybe that's just how he is. But you know, more than likely, they always say that in the case of a woman getting murdered, more than likely all the time, it's her spouse or her partner or her boyfriend or whatever is usually the culprit, the person who kills them. So, you know, That's what I'm leaning towards. I don't know, but I wish I had more evidence to read about and to have, because you can't really make up your mind. I mean, there's not enough evidence or anything to be able to help you make up your mind. So on this one, I'm really, I don't know. I feel bad for Faye Dollar's memory because it doesn't really seem like anybody's out there trying to work to get this solved. So, you know, if anybody knows anything, please call the GBI. Okay, call the GBI or the APD. And you can also go online to gbi.georgia.gov, and I'll put the number as well for the GBI in the comments or the description box. The next case I'm going to be doing is actually a two in one. It's going to be two victims, and the reason why I'm going to do this is because the police think that they might be related. And the first victim, her name was Pauline Sarasoli, and she was actually attacked in her room at the Westin Peachtree Plaza, and that's in downtown Atlanta. And she was actually here for a conference, staying at a hotel for a conference. She's from Vermont, and she was beaten in her room. She did not die, however. She suffered severe injuries, and she was in a coma for several weeks. And when she woke up, she had such severe injuries from this beating that I think she ended up having to be in an assisted living facility until she died, actually 15 years after the attack, from complications due to these injuries. So I think the APD has reopened the case and declared it a homicide. And then a month actually before Pauline was attacked, a maid named Aaliyah Banderas, she worked actually at the Westin Peachtree Plaza, and she was about 40 to 50 days before Pauline was attacked. Miss Banderas was also attacked in a room that she had been cleaning. So, and she actually did die. She was killed. So I'm going to cover both of those because they happen in the same, on the same floor, not in the same room, but at the same hotel on the 6th floor, on the same floor. And the police seem to think that they're so similar, the details are so similar, that it might be the same person. So I'm going to cover that, and I'm actually going to try to stay at one of the rooms, I don't know whichever one I can get, basically, to stay in the actual room. So I know that's morbid, but I thought it'd be a little interesting to do that. So that's what I will be doing next. And I wanted to say thank you to everyone who watches my videos. I really, really appreciate it. Keep watching them, please. And this is Jen Marie. Thank you for watching my channel, Crime Rewind, and I'll catch you on the flip side.